Hello guys, today I'll be answering all of your questions for this 500 subscriber Q&A. Again, thank you all for subscribing and thank you for getting me to 500 subs. Thank you all for the support. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this. We're going to start off with Elijah with his questions. Would you consider the band Imagine Dragons as rock? Not really. I'm not really quite sure what to describe them, but straight up rock, not really though. Thoughts on 3 Days Grace's album Explosions? For me, one of their weaker albums, but I do like it though. Do you like other genres? Yes. Outside of rock and metal, rap is my go-to genre. But outside of rock, metal, and rap, there are a few artists that I do enjoy. Portishead, Massive Attack, The Prodigy, and Beck. Do you have a wife? I do not. But yeah, thank you for the questions, Elijah. Let's move on to Gibram Rivera. Forgive me if I butchered your name. I apologize. If you made your own band, what would it be called and what would be your role? Not really quite sure what it would be called, but if I had to choose a letter for the name to start with, it'd probably be the letter L or letter M or letter S. What would be your role? Probably lead vocalist. But yeah, thank you for the question. Now let's go ahead and move on to Zach D Productions. Congrats on 500. I have a few questions related to music and movies that I'll leave here. Right on. Would you say that a lot of modern music lacks originality / creativity since it seems like almost everything has been done already? I'd say yes and no. I'm not going to say that there's no originality out there in terms of modern music, because that's probably not true. I'm sure there's some creative bands out there, but I like what Spiritbox is doing. Musically, maybe not doing a whole lot new to the table, or bringing not a whole lot new to the table, but I personally like what they're doing. It's more of an it factor thing for me with them, especially with Courtney's vocals. But yeah, I'd say yes and no, because yeah, there are a lot of modern bands out there that do kind of blend together or kind of just sound like a rehash of a rehash. But yeah, I'd say yes and no to that for me. But next question, what do you think the future holds for the band Red? I'm not sure, because I think they might be on a decline, to be honest. I don't think they've released a bad album yet. Yes, I do like Release the Panic. I know some people aren't big on that album, but I wouldn't consider it bad. It's different, but I do like that album though. Still feels like Red in my opinion. But yeah, while I would say that Red hasn't released a bad album, I do think at the moment, I think they might be on a decline, but I don't know. I still think they can turn things around though, because for me, Rated R, not the strongest replay value so far. A decent album, but I'm not going to say great or amazing, and definitely nowhere near album of the year or one of my favorites of the year. Next question, are you excited for next Deftones album, supposedly releasing in 2024? Yeah, I'm definitely really pumped, especially with how great their last album, Ohms, was. I'm definitely really excited. Bands that probably should retire, yes, comes to mind. Yeah, they come to mind for me too, and same with Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses. Most underrated POD songs in your opinion? Tribal, Freestyle, Outcast, Know Me from Brown, Every Knee from Snuff the Punk, Freedom Fighters, The Reason, what else? Sounds Like War and Teachers from Testify, Shine With Me from When Angels and Serpents Dance, Whatever It Takes, which is from a movie soundtrack. I'd probably also say On Fire from Murdered Love. But yeah, those are some songs that come to mind for me. Where do you want Dream Theater to go musically if and when they release a new album? I'm personally okay with them taking a little bit of a break, which is kind of what they've been doing. I mean, sort of. I mean, they've been touring. I know I did see them on their recent tour. That was definitely really cool. But yeah, I'm personally not really itching for a new album at the moment from them. But of course, I'm willing to get more new music. But It'd be cool to see them kind of do the dark, atmospheric, heavy stuff that they did on Awake, but I highly doubt they're going to do that again. But hey, you never know. But it would be cool to see them do something a bit heavier and maybe bring in some speed, maybe. I don't know. Either way, I kind of want to see them do something slightly different from what they've been doing lately. What are your favorite albums of the 2020s so far? Utopia by Travis Scott, Magic 3 by Nas, Eternal Blue by Spiritbox, The Nightmare of Being by At the Gates, Deceivers by Arch Enemy. Did I say Eternal Blue by Spiritbox right? I think I might have. Anyways, what else? I'm probably blanking on some good ones, but those are some of my favorites so far. Next question, Rambo or Rocky? If we're talking the movies, probably Rocky, but if we're talking the characters themselves, probably a tie for me. Favorite Jet Li films, Kiss of the Dragon, Unleashed. The one I like the one. Apparently that movie critically didn't do very well, but I like that one. And Romeo Must Die, which has Aaliyah in it, I like that one. But yeah, those is probably some of my favorites from Jet Li. Favorite Rush Hour movie, either the first one or the second one. I'm not quite sure which one I like more, but it'd be either the first or the second one. But I do like the third one though. Thoughts on Scott Adkins as an actor and the movies he's in? I haven't seen a lot of him, but from what I've seen, as an actor, I think he's fine. I've yet to see something. I've yet to see a performance from him that's really made me want to check out more of his stuff. But as of now, I don't really think much of him, to be honest. But maybe sometime down the road, I'll check out his movies. But as of now, I'm not really itching to see more from him. But again, not a bad actor. Thoughts on the Godzilla movies? It's been a long time since I've watched a Godzilla movie, but I have seen the 2014 one and King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, of course. I've seen Godzilla 2000, Final Wars, and the 1998 movie too. But yeah, I don't recall seeing a Godzilla movie that I've straight up disliked. I've pretty much liked all the ones that I've seen so far. But yeah, again, it's definitely been a while since I've seen any Godzilla movie. But I do like Godzilla though. With the rumors of John Wick 5 happening, would you be hyped for that despite how Chapter 4 ended? Yes, I would still be hyped. Or would you be okay with Chapter 4 being the finale since it wouldn't make much sense to make any more? I'd be okay with Chapter 4 being the finale. I personally don't have an issue with that, but if they decide to make a fifth one, I don't have a problem with that either. I'd still be excited. I'd definitely be curious of how they would explain what happened at the end of the fourth one. But yeah, I'm okay with either option personally. But yeah, thank you for the question, Zach. Thank you for the support. Let's move on to Max Palmer. Excuse me. Where would you rank Sevendust in the genre of nu metal? Definitely top 10. Easily, of course. Top 5 is where things get a bit more difficult for me. I mean, of course, Korn's going to be in the top 5. I mean, that has to be in every top 5 nu metal band list. I mean, come on, it's Korn. And yeah, definitely top 10. Top 5, again, is where things get more difficult. What's your favorite album of all time? Don't have one. Impossible. What's your favorite song of all time? Also impossible. Can't really pick one. What's your favorite concert you've been to so far in your lifetime? Honestly, it might be Iron Maiden with Trivium. That might be my favorite concert that I've been to so far. But of course, I did enjoy Korn with POD. Anthrax was great too. Kind of a tough one, but again, I might go with Iron Maiden with Trivium because both of those bands are some of my favorite bands of all time. What bands or rappers have you been listening to the most recently? I actually haven't been listening to a lot of rap lately. I'm not a Drake fan, but I do like some of his stuff, but I can never get into a full album. But I did check out his new album, For All the Dogs, and I like some of the songs, but overall, an album as a whole, not really big on it. But what bands? I've been listening to The Cult, Filter, and I believe I was listening to some Anthrax more recently too. But yeah, those are some bands that come to mind. Let's see. Do you check your Spotify Wrapped? I don't use Spotify. What CD in your collection have you spun the most? I actually don't. I actually don't play my CDs. Actually, I listen to my music for the most part on my phone. But when I was a kid, when I was younger, I'd maybe, if I had to answer this question, it probably would maybe be either Hybrid Theory or Meteora, or maybe a Korn album. What legacy acts in rock and metal should retire? Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses are always the bands that come to mind for me when it comes to this type of question. What are your thoughts on posthumous music? I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but for me, it really depends on the motive of why it was created or why it's being put out. Again, kind of depends on the motive for me, but how's life been? It's been okay. Not great, but okay. Who's your favorite band or rapper currently? Favorite rapper, Kendrick Lamar. Favorite band, don't really have a favorite band at the moment. There was a time where Aerosmith was my favorite, and there was also another time where Rush was my favorite, but nowadays I don't really have a favorite band. How would you rank the Sevendust albums? Home would be at the top, and then it would be their self-titled debut, and then under that it would be Animosity, and then it would be Seasons, and then All I See Is War, and then probably Truth Killer, and then after that is where things get a bit more difficult for me. But at the bottom, I'd probably have Chapter 7, Chapter 8, whatever that album's called, the Hope and Sorrow album. That's always been my least favorite Sevendust album. Decent album, but easily my least favorite. What's a song or song lyric that speaks to you the most? That's a good question. I'm not quite sure. I'd probably think of an answer like hours from now or maybe sometime after this video, but good question though. But as of now, I can't really think of one. But anyways, thank you for the questions, Max. Let's go ahead and move on to Christian Perez. Congrats to my boy, NJ Nation. Thanks, man. What are your least favorite CDs? Well, in my collection, probably Illud Divina Maenus by Morbid Angel and Lulu by Metallica and Lou Reed. Have you grown out of any rocker or metal bands? More recently, not really, but there are some bands that I have grown out of, but more long time ago though. Power Man 5000, Hollywood Undead, Papa Roach. Even when I was into Papa Roach, I was more of a fan of the first 3 or 4 albums or so. But yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you for the questions, Christian. Let's move on to Zachary Maxwell. What are some CDs in your collection that you regret buying? I don't regret any of them because I'm a completist, so that'll mean that I'll buy the bad albums too. How many CDs in total do you own? I have a little over 1,500. I don't remember the exact number at the moment, but a little over 1,500. Are you excited for the upcoming Static X album? Hell yeah, and I already have my copy pre-ordered. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Not really quite sure, but if I had to guess, probably not much different from where it is at the moment, but I'm sure there'd be some slight differences, of course. But yeah, thank you for the questions, Zachary. Let's move on to Sinister Santa. Have you gone to concerts alone? Yes, and most of the concerts I've been to, it's been alone actually, which I'm personally okay with because the positive thing with going alone is that you don't have to give people rides or anything like that. You don't have to buy anyone any tickets. And on top of that, when you get to the show, you don't have to argue with them or try to come to any middle ground on where you want to be at the concert, especially if it's general admission, whether you want to be on the side or towards the front. You don't have to argue with whoever you're with. But I'm sure it is more fun to be with someone, but I personally don't mind going alone though, but being with someone I don't mind either, of course. Favorite movie genre? Maybe action. Do you watch a lot of movies in spare time? Yes, I do. But yeah, thank you for the question, Sinister Santa. Dylan Newman says, congrats to 500 subs, man. Thank you, Dylan. Means a lot. But yeah, those are all the questions for this Q&A. Thank you all for leaving all these questions. Again, definitely appreciate all the support, and thank you again for getting me to 500 subscribers. But yeah, Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and a like, subscribe. Have a nice day, and of course, take care, guys.